actually filmed this video the other day, but I didn't have any notes. What I said did not make any sense, which is why I'm refilming this video and why I'm wearing this jumper again, because the opportunity was just too perfect. Hello everyone, my name is Tasha and today's video is going to be a book review of this book, Drown by Esther Dalseno. Look at this beautiful book. I cannot get over the cover of this book. I have had my eyes set on this book ever since the publisher, Three Little Birds, followed me on Instagram several months ago. And back then they had just been like dropping hints about their first book they're releasing. This one. Ever since then I have had my eyes on this, had it on my wish list, anticipating the release, and then about 2 weeks before it actually released, I think it was about 2 weeks, the author Esther Dalseno messaged me on Twitter asking if I was a booktuber and if I wanted to review her beautiful book, and of course I said yes. She sent me the book along with a cute little card, so thank you so much, Esther, for sending me this and giving me the opportunity to review your book. I hope that made sense. I'm very grateful for this. When I started reading this book, I immediately realized it's not what I had actually expected it would be, even though it said like basically everywhere on the book, on Goodreads, on posts about this book, it said that this is a twisted take on the classic fairy tale, The Little Mermaid. I, for some reason, thought that this was going to be a retelling, like a modern day retelling. I don't know why I thought that, but that's what was in my head before I started reading this book, and I started reading it and realized, okay, this is something completely different. This is actually a different, twisted take on this fairy tale. So there was a bit confusion, but that was all my fault. But as soon as I adjusted to the different kind of story I was expecting, I immediately fell in love with everything in this book. The writing, the characters. If you're like me and you're not familiar with the classic fairy tale The Little Mermaid and you have just seen the Disney movie, then this is quite a dark and twisted take on the fairy tale. Even if you're not familiar with the fairy tale, I think this is still an amazing book to read. I'm gonna shortly summarize what happens in this. As I said, I don't know what actually happens in the fairy tale, so I can't say if it's like what's the same and what's different. So in Drown, the mer people are described as more animal as human. They show no emotion. All they focus on is beauty, and beauty is actually the currency underwater there. I'm not quite sure how everything works. That's something I didn't quite hang on to, but I do remember that beauty is their currency. It's quite different. So mer people are more animal than human, except for the Little Mermaid. She's different to all of these mermaids, mer people. She's very curious and asks a lot of questions. She shows a lot of emotion, but over the years she learns to hide that a bit more, to blend in. One day when the Little Mermaid surfaces above water, she sees the prince and immediately falls in love with him. Now, this prince is not the ordinary fairy tale, Disney fairy tale prince. He's quite troubled, he's very spoiled and childish, and he cuts himself. He's in a very dark place, but nonetheless the Little Mermaid falls in love with him and wants to be with him, which is why one day she goes to the sea witch underwater to trade her voice and some other things to become human. That's all I'm gonna say, because I'm not sure what else would be considered spoilers for this, and I'm not sure what's the same with the classic fairy tale. But yeah, the Little Mermaid, she becomes human. She goes above water and discovers a lot of new things, and I quite enjoyed that. There were some like things here and there that I found really amusing. For example, how she describes a mustache as a parasite on someone's face. Something I absolutely adored in this book, probably my favorite part of this book was the writing. Her writing was absolutely beautiful and amazing, and I think she perfectly captured that fairy tale vibe. I haven't read a lot of fairy tales, but this felt completely like a fairy tale, and the writing was amazing, and I loved it so much. Something that I wasn't too sure about at the beginning was that the characters didn't have any names. It was just the Little Mermaid, the prince, the sea witch, the sea king, the prince's uncle, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna like that, but after a few chapters I didn't mind at all. I still loved these characters, and because it was a not retelling, because it was a fairy tale, I guess, it did make sense, because I don't think fairy tales usually have names. I don't know, I haven't read fairy tales, so I don't know what it's like. I really enjoyed the character of the Little Mermaid. She was really, just her discovering everything was really nice to read, and Esther's writing was really straightforward and honest and just really real with everything the Little Mermaid saw and described, and I really enjoyed that. I hope that made sense. I wasn't sure how to word that. Words are hard for me. The prince, from the beginning, I wasn't a big fan of the prince. He was spoiled and childish and very shallow, and I just didn't like him. There were parts in this book where I thought I was gonna like the prince, but then I ended up disliking him again, which I guess, I don't know, maybe that was kind of the point. I don't know. I didn't really like him. A character that kind of surprised me was the uncle, the prince's uncle. I started disliking him. I didn't like him in the beginning. He was a bit disgusting. But then there's this one scene where I thought I was gonna hate him even more. And then suddenly something happened, and suddenly I loved him. And I don't know how it happened, but I really, really liked him. I'm not gonna say what happened, because it is quite far into the book and it is a spoiler. All in all, I really enjoyed this book so much. It is quite short. It's about 220 pages, so you can get through it quite quickly. I gave this book 4.5 stars on Goodreads. I will link I think I left a few thoughts in my Goodreads review. I will link that down below. I will also link Esther Dalseno's website, her Facebook page, and Amazon links where you can order your copy of Drown. Everything will be linked down below in the description box. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Comment down below if you are now interested in reading this book, or if you have already read it, leave your thoughts down below so we can talk about it. And that was it for this video, and I will see you next time. Bye! Today's video is going to be another book review of this book. Hello everyone, my name is Tasha, and today coffee. Probably not the best thing to drink while I don't know what I'm saying. Absolutely adored in this book. Probably one of my why are words so hard?